Humanity is facing an unprecedented crisis. COVID-19 shocked the world. But climate change doesn't wait. Inaction is not an option. It's time to act and come together. Cities and citizens are already forming a global wave of climate champions. In the last 4 years, the Climathon movement has grown from 600 to 6,000 participants across all 6 continents. And the momentum keeps on building. We need bold ambition. We need climate-resilient ideas and initiatives. We need a green recovery. Together, let's build back better. Join us on the Climathon journey. Take action. Co-create local ideas to shared climate challenges and build tangible and impact-driven projects. Get involved in shaping the future of your city. We are all in this together.
Welcome to the very first final presentations of Bratislava Hackathon. Climate Hackathon, a mistake in the very first sentence, but we're flexible. My name is Kristina Korčeková and I will be your guide tonight. This weekend we have joined 60 cities across the globe, which is 100 totally this year, with over 4,500 participants to tap into the potential of our students, engineers, data scientists, IT professionals, architects, designers, normal scientists, business people, communicators and enthusiasts to develop and deliver solutions tackling the climate crisis. To start, let's hear it from Matúš Vallo, the mayor of the city of Bratislava.
Dear innovators, thank you for spending the weekend with us and creating great ideas that can make our city more resilient and better for life. My goal is to make Bratislava attractive and sustainable for its residents and visitors. We truly appreciate citizens that take active part in our efforts. I would also like to thank your partners Clima-X, Swiss Re, Civita, Hub and the Ministry of Environment. Good luck during the final pitching and I look forward to see the winning ideas coming to life.
Thank you, Matúš. It's a pity you couldn't be here with us, but COVID puts restrictions on all of us. The Climathon was a truly collaborative experience, and I would like to thank again the following Climathonists. The city of Bratislava, which provided its experts, data, and all information necessary for our innovators to tackle the challenges. Swiss Re, Climathon's main partner, which offered its massive expertise and access to the CatNet platform. Civita Slovakia, which used its experience in hackathon organization to put the whole show together. Hub, the tenant of this lovely space in the newly opened Nibi Tower, our communication and technical support lifeline. Databricks, InQB, helping outreach to the student community. Ministry of Environment of the Slovak Republic, which provided geolocation data and also a prize connected to these. All of our 28 amazing mentors, which have offered their free time and years of expertise to help our hacking teams to understand and tackle problems. And Climathon is under the protective wings of EIT Climate Kick, which developed the format and helps organize the branded Climathons across the globe. So what has happened over the last 48 hours? At the beginning, there was a city and its need to face the uncertain future of climate change. The city of Bratislava, together with us, devised 2 specific challenges. The first one, how to motivate citizens and get them involved in the transformation of Bratislava into a city that is resilient to climate change and its effects. And the second challenge, how to tackle the problem of public transport, in particular, the poor usage of ecological means of transport by the inhabitants of Bratislava. On Friday, we kicked off this virtual Climathon with 26 teams. more than 150 participants from 8 countries. And over the 48 hours, they delivered 25 solutions after 70 hours of time with our mentors. Oh, can't even move pages properly with this face mask. And in about 5 minutes, you will witness the world premiere of the 10 best ideas which did not exist 48 hours ago, or some of them. The best ideas will be awarded by quite a few prizes. There is a Geodata prize of 1,250 euros for the best usage of geolocation data provided by the Ministry of Environment. There are several student awards by Swiss Re to the tune of 2,000, 1,500 euros for the best students teams defined by teams where there's more than 50% of students. And there are the main prizes to the tune of 2,000, 1,500 euros, again for the best ideas addressing the city challenges. And the best students team and the team awarded the main prize will additionally get 3 months of free membership in HubHub. I'm not sure if this location or maybe the other location, but in any case, it's a lovely location. And the story, it will not end here. We are not the folk to like laag pour laag, and the toughest part of the journey will actually start tomorrow morning, when both the city of Bratislava and Swiss Re, the main partners of this Climathon, will work with the teams to truly implement and fully develop their ideas, making Bratislava more resilient and prepared for the challenges of the future. Now, how will this go down? I have to sit a little better. You will hear 10 teams present for 3 minutes each. We will be strict about the time, they know it. Then our jury will have 3 minutes to ask clarifying questions. The jury judges the ideas based on these criteria. It's implementation, usefulness, innovativeness, and strategic alignment with the city and its goals. Now, I will present the members of the jury which are in this building in their COVID confinement units, very tiny units. First, it's Petra Zurovčinová of the city of Bratislava. Petra, how was your weekend? Tell us.
Amazing. I enjoyed myself very much. Thank you. Looking forward to the presentation.
Lovely to see you happy in your unit. It looks like you have a halo over your head, but that's just part of the HubHub branding. Next up, I would like to welcome Uwe Nagel of Swiss Re. Uwe, what are you hoping to see tonight?
I would hope to see some of the really great ideas that I saw in the beginning coming to something that is tangible that can help the city.
Thank you very much, Uwe. We're looking forward to your judging. Then we have Slavomír Oslej, who's also from the city of Bratislava. Slavo, which concrete problem would you like to see solved tonight?
Hi, everybody. Thank you. Mainly transportation and mobility. So that's my main topic, what I would like to see from teams.
Thank you, Slavo. I'm pretty confident that you get to see quite a few green mobility solutions tonight. And the last but not least is Matej Galik from Swiss Re. Matej, were you happy with the student involvement during Climathon? We can't hear you, Matej, and you're the IT coach. We still can't hear you, but you will get the opportunity to speak again, and we will solve this technical issue in your COVID confinement unit, or CCU. Now, thank you, jurors. Now it's time to get down to the business, and let me welcome our first team to pitch, which is going to be Swiss Re students. Now, this team is composed of students. From Swiss Re, we have quite a few members, actually, if I'm counting Barbara, Mary, Matej, Roman, Lucia, and Eunice. So we have international university students working in Swiss Re, who got to know each other during Among Us sessions, which I would assume is some sort of corporate meet and greet. Now, I hope you are ready. You have exactly 3 minutes, and after the 3 minutes, the applause will end your talking. It will not end you, and I will thank you then for your pitch. So I hope you're ready. Your 3 minutes are starting now.
Hello, we are the Swiss Re student team, and this is our public transportation delay prediction system. So what we did was we implemented a machine learning model to predict bus and tram delays across Bratislava, and then came up with ways to incorporate this model so that it can really benefit the residents of the city. We know that the environmental goal of every city nowadays is really to encourage people to use the bus and the trams instead of, for example, driving to work. So it is very important that we make public transportation as comfortable to use as possible. And a very obvious way to do this is to increase the reliability of bus arrivals. And we actually spoke to Petra about this, and she confirmed that this is one of the priorities of the city. Now, let's look at the data. We see that there are very clear trends of bus delays during the year. So we can see that buses are very likely to be delayed during the morning and afternoon rush hours, but we can also see the yearly trend of buses being less delayed during the summer months. So what we did is we took this information and fed it to a machine learning model. And if you look at the graph below, you see that the blue line are the predictions from the machine learning model. And it actually only took us data from 1 month, February, to train this machine learning model so that it predicts very accurately data for the next 2 months of time. And what this means in practice is that if we took this model into account, we would reduce the average wait time of passengers by 47% during the rush hour. And our model also only predicts 5% of false positive observations, which means the bus would actually arrive earlier. Now, how this could be implemented is, for example, with an application. And we're not proposing to create a whole new application. We're proposing to incorporate this into an application that the city of Bratislava is actually currently developing. So what this could do is it could visualize the predicted delay of a bus, and it could also suggest you alternative routes to take if you want the least likeliness of being late to work, for example. And then another great use case would be to really look at long-term yearly predictions and help the city of Bratislava to plan the bus schedules for, let's say, next year as accurately as possible and really prevent the delays before they even happen. Yes, so this is what we managed to come up with over the past 2 days, and thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you very much. This was the team Swiss Re students. You were the first, and it is of course very difficult to be the first one. All technical troubles would have fallen on your head, but I believe that you've done it rather well, and technically we managed as well. So now I would like to welcome the jury, led by Petra, to ask for the questions. Petra, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Christina, and thank you, Swiss Re students, for your presentation. My first question is, what is the next step?
Right, so there are several next steps that we can take, but the first one is definitely to fit this model with more data and definitely kind of look at the yearly trends, because right now, since the data is only from 2019, we can't really quite see the trends, for example, of winter holidays yet. And then another thing we could definitely do is incorporate weather predictions into the model.
And you mentioned our presentation, our mobile application. So what does it mean to implement it there?
Well, we believe that you are developing a public transportation application. So what we propose is just when a user of this application is looking up some bus, let's say a day ahead, there would be a prediction of how likely is the bus to be late.
Any of my colleagues want to ask a question?
don't want to go too deep here into the technical details, but you said you trained this model on 1 month and it is already quite accurate. How long does this training step take? How can you imagine to bring that into practice? Is that something where we would need a big Databricks instance that is calculating for 3 months if we would do this for a whole year, or is it rather quickly?
Actually, no, we used the Facebook Prophet library, and it took several seconds to train this model for a month of data, I mean.
Okay. And if I may follow up on that, is there a lot of manual tweaking of that model involved, or is that more or less completely automatic?
It's more or less completely automatic because this model already, by default, tries to look at the seasonality and periodicity of the data. So it's almost completely automatic.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Uwe. Maciej, you wanted to ask?
Maybe if I'm now with you, can you hear me? Super. So Barbara, basically, how did you validate the idea with the city or with the citizens?
Well, we validated with Petra mostly, and also with another mentor, which I am really sorry, but I don't remember their name. But he handles the data analysis for the public transportation in the city, and they both said that it's a great idea and it will benefit the city.
It was our great colleague Pavel Škapik, who's the head of data department. Perfect. Anyone else has a question? Short one, quick one? If not, Slavo?
Maybe what type of data do you need for us in next steps or next month that can help you?
Yes, so that's a really good question. Right now, we only have several bus lanes. So what you could really do is provide us with more of them. And also, I know that you don't really have the data for past years because we already tried to find this out. But in the future, this will definitely help to predict from the data that we are receiving right now, because I know you're collecting it.
Perfect. Thank you, Barborka. And right back at you, Christina.
So, thank you very much. This was our first pitch. It started very good. We had a lovely team of Swiss Re students. Thank you, Barbara, I believe it was you, for presenting the idea of comfortable public transportation by plugging in your data models into most likely existing application of the city. Now we have the next team waiting. It is Trexi, and I'm at odds not knowing what they are going to bring. So, Trexi, the floor is yours. 3 minutes starting now.
Thank you for this opportunity to present. We've been all working towards this moment for the last 48 hours. So without further ado, let's jump into the presentation. The problem humanity is facing is unprecedented rising in emissions and their impact on our climate, our city, and us. So the first step and mutual goal of us should be shift more people towards public transport and green mobility to maintain sustainable quality of life. And technology is here to help. We as a team want to be part of a solution, and our solution is tailor-made for Bratislava and its citizens, ready to inspire both sides of the bridge in combat against climate change. The shortest way to achieve results is to challenge the status quo. We started with surveying current mood of citizens and city representatives during mentoring sessions, and the outcomes were fascinating. So many motivated people, and whoever you are, planner, CO2 hero, or city shaper, you fit in. First part of the solution is our own multimodal transport model for Bratislava based on the data specifically provided for this hackathon. Our route planner gives wider spectrum of options incorporating multiple forms of transportation, which enables users to find shortest or the most ecological path from point A to point B, ultimately leaving their car at home. To do that, users can track their trips, collect green points for ecologically traveled kilometers, and we let them grow their own tree of green impact. With these points, users can use this behavior to crowdsource Bratislava green projects or exchange them for CO2 positive rewards, strengthen the motivation, and enable all of us, citizens, companies, and city, to touch tangible results based on our contribution and actions. Sounds fair, right? And how does it all fit together? Increase in public transport brings more revenue to city and decrease overall social costs. The data collected can be used by the city in many ways, especially improving the service of public transport itself, or creating a giant snowball effect where everyone can benefit. Optionally, using participatory budget as extra boost for green projects, connect citizens and city-specific projects. We have it. Last but not least, companies such as Swiss Re can participate with funding and boost specific projects of their own to increase overall well-being of their employees, customers, and partners. We are Trexi, and we are here to act now.
Thank you very much, Trexi, travel experience, and the last one I did not catch, but influence. Very good, thank you. This was your pitch, this was your 3 minutes. Now I would like to give the floor again to the jury. Jury, Petra, go again and lead it.
Thank you, Christina. So any of my colleagues want to start?
Maybe starting with the obvious. Nice idea. What of this is implemented? What part of this is done already?
So as I said, we already have a backend API. We do have a model, working model filled in with Bratislava data. We also have the user interface, and it's all in Azure, ready to be implemented with the city.
I can put point A, point B, and you can give me a road.
With the data that city provided to us, yes, but we still need to fill in more data because the quality of the data was, as it was.
That's fine. Okay, thanks.
I have a question. So have you done all this in 48 hours?
Actually, yes. And I want to thank my team for this great commitment towards this Climathon. Thank you.
Brilliant. Maciej, Slavo, do you want to ask a question?
Maybe what's the biggest risk of this solution from your perspective?
I would say that there are big partners that want to take over the whole market, but our solution is aiming more to act as a mid-level between what we have now and where are we heading, because we see a trend of European-driven policies which tackles the issue as a whole. Yeah, so it's a mid-step. And these global partners or big partners, these are corporate-owned data. We want to bring this possibility to own the data and use it for city good.
Perfect. Thank you. Maciej, you wanted to ask?
Yeah. Maybe how is it measurable? Maybe I lost the quantitative. So how many you save in emissions?
This is a good question, but I would say there are many other applications that are tackling this. We have our own calculation, which is unified, let's say, but it's let's say some kind of a proposal. But it's measurable, it's in backend, it's working. We actually can give you these points based on your trip.
Perfect. What are the next steps?
The next steps, get as accurate data as possible from the city, check their infrastructure, and implement it into the city infrastructure that is currently available.
Okay, great, thank you. So Christina, right back at you.
Thank you. I caught your word. Thank you, Trexi. This was our second presentation. We have 8 more, and the next up is EOI, Embassy of Innovators, which is a team composed of Albert, Jana, Katarina, Michaela, Michal, and Peter. Mostly Slovaks, but Albert, the latest addition to the team, doesn't speak Slovak, so they had to switch to English. And I believe they are ready, and their 3 minutes are starting now.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. We are the Embassy of Innovators, and we are also the international team. Thank you very much for giving us the chance to explain our idea, which is called Loving the Bus or Loving the Bus. We would like to explain how to increase the usage of public transportation in Bratislava city, because we think that this is quite an interesting and important issue, how to also tackle the climate change. So What we see about the public transportation in Bratislava, because we did our own research and we conducted a survey during the 24 hours of this Climathon, and we got the information about what the people think about the public transportation, what is the biggest problem. Concerning the bad reputation, we see that this is more emotional thing than rational, but still people feel that the public transportation in Bratislava could be not the thing which they want. Then they could have a bad experience as the user, for example, to buying a ticket. And especially if we are discussing about the users who are not the often ones, who are not using daily the public transportation, because we try to focus on the occasional users and see how we can transform these people to the everyday user or daily user of the public transportation and how they can leave the cars at home. Lack of comfort was also something which they mentioned because they feel that public transportation in Bratislava could be crowded, which is not always the case, but we need to help these people. And how can we change their behavior is that we would give them the accurate data, we would give them the information in time. So we would like to see that as these users would like to go by bus or by tram in Bratislava, how they can know that if this bus or tram is delayed or is crowded or is clean, or how they can get from point A to point B. So we decided to engage them with a special application. As you heard also before, that there are some other applications, but we think that our one is the best one, because it's very easy. It's also using some part of gamification. So it's using some parts of game, but it's also giving the passengers the right information. And it also could be used, we would like to see it this way, as the smart pass for transportation or the travel within the city. It would work that this application in your mobile phone, you would use it as a pass to the bus. So you will track how you travel, and you will check in and check out when you enter and when you leave the bus. Also, this transportation application will check your CO2 savings and will compare as if you would travel by car, how much you would save if you travel by the public transportation. Then it would give you the rights, which you will prepay. And then in the end of the month, it will calculate how many rides you did and how much you would spend. And if it's more than one monthly subscription of the public transportation pass in Bratislava, it would be the maximum price which you would pay. Also, you will see in this application how can you join the community.
Thank you very much, Embassy of Innovators. That was the 3 minutes. As I said, we are going to be sharp about it, but the jury will have the opportunity to ask the things that maybe you did not answer in your pitch yet. So, the jury, are you ready? You can go ask questions.
Of course, always ready. Perfect. I want to give an opportunity to my colleagues to start if they want to. Maciej?
Yep. I would like to know more about the gamification angle. So what's the game about?
We would like to have a special rewards in this application, which would compare yourself to your neighbors, to your friends. You could invite other people to join the application, and you could compare how much you save yourself and how much your friends are saving. You would get rewards, which you can exchange for some special other issues like the vouchers for transport, or either some, maybe if we agree with the city, the tickets for cultural events, for example.
Uwe?
My understanding is that this is an idea and a good one, and a design. How do you see from here the path to its realization, to the full implementation and integration with the city systems?
Yeah, thank you very much. We would like to thank also all the mentors which we had, and also you were one of them, and we exchanged a lot of issues and a lot of discussions. We know that there is the application in planning in the city of Bratislava. We would like to maybe incorporate the part of this idea into this application. As we are international team, but we don't know each other before, we didn't have a time to explore much more, but we have the vision, we have the ideas, and we would need to prepare some pilot and discuss the other technical issues. But nothing which we propose is the extra. We would use existing infrastructure, which is already now in the buses, which you can use.
I would like to ask, so if there are any other projects, how would you integrate your technology into the existing technology that's in the buses or software that is already in place?
Yeah, we would like to use the simply the Wi-Fi positions in the buses, which could check the traveler inside the bus, and it will validate that he is really in the bus and he's starting the journey. And also we would like to check with your smartphone, you could check with the technology which is already in the machines in the bus, and you could check in and check out with this as well.
Okay, that's Matej, go on.
Maybe I have one more. How did you use the data which are available? As I maybe missed it.
We did our own survey. We checked the data which was provided by the city of Bratislava, but we would need, in order to really make the experience of the users better, which we would like to, we would need much more data, which would be then calculated on time by the using of this app.
Slava?
Maybe what type of stakeholders do you need to incorporate into your solution for implementation?
Yeah, we would definitely need the city of Bratislava, of course, and we would need to discuss about how can we do this together. Different stakeholders. We would like also to think about the other, like the big companies or other companies who would maybe provide this as the special opportunity for their workers, and they could maybe prepay for them some passes or some credit for this application, how they can use this application on the way to work.
Perfect. Thank you, Embassy of Innovators. Christina, it's yours.
Thank you, Petra. Thank you, jury. Thank you, Embassy of Innovators. This was our third pitch, and we have a fourth one ahead of us, and it is Clima-X. And just as Embassy of Innovators was a lovely story of people who didn't know each other and then got together during hackathon, so is Clima-X. We have Angelo, Maria, Marek, and Simona, two of them from Swiss Re. The other two just met them 2 days ago, and this is what they worked on and what they came up with after 2 days. So I believe it will be Angelo. The floor is yours.
Hi, my name is Angelo Verona. I would like to present our Clima-X team effort of crowdfunding solution, which we are calling Tipping on the Environment. Basically, we think that there is no silver bullet for all the answers for the environment. And there are many great environment projects which struggle with funding or be efficient to bringing them on the market. Also, we can see that a lot of companies are interested in it as well, but as they are self-isolated in their projects, basically they lack the reachability and they lack of the community traction. So we decided as a solution that needs to be very easy to implement. So we go with a very easy one line of code, which you can actually enter to e-commerce sites where they are aggregating all the customers, and customers by themselves can actually take which projects are they most interested in. We think that we would like to, from the start, actually focus on the Bratislava, like Bratislava neighbors or 10,000 trees, but we would like not to be limited just by the city projects, but actually provides everyone to kind of participate with their great green idea or sustainability idea, which people could virtually kind of rank up if they are interested in those. We think that there is a kind of responsibility model for the companies, as they don't produce just the products or customers, they actually do also some on the environment footprint, like a CO2 or something like that. We already reached to some of the e-commerce sites and businesses, and they were very supportive about the idea, and they actually requested more information to work with us. So we will believe that we need actually the project which will support all other projects, like a small Climathon, I would say that, but it will be sustainable on the long run. So it will kind of pay for itself and help other projects to actually lift off. So we already prepared a model which will be implemented in the card area. It's basically easy, without any more resources from the customer sides, to actually just inject the one-line code, and it will provide a roundup sum for example, for customers which we would like to buy some products. It will round up the final order, or they will be able to choose the amount which they would like to actually tip off. It will be searchable by their area. It's very important for us that people will usually tend to pick the the things which they will help them to see the results in their vicinity area. This is the team. We basically tackle this thing together with this Climathon 72 hours. And we already have a time plan which we could actually kind of achieve. So we need a strong brand.
Thank you, Angelo. I'm so sorry to cut you off now, but this was a lovely 3-minute speech. You almost made it, and next time you're gonna make it to the second. Now, to the jury, what are your questions?
Thanks, Christina. So Angelo, thank you for the presentation. So you have already something finished, a technology you can test, or it's just an idea?
We are actually kind of the programmers, so we already have a mock-up. It's actually working from the backend. It's still the fine-tuning, but we don't see that as an issue because we basically are most of the IT guys.
Perfect. Anyone else from the jury? Uwe?
You have that timeline on your last slide, which is quite ambitious, and I'm not saying that because my own employer. Do you have any context? Do you have people who are used to do that? Because this is something, getting these contacts and so on.
Yeah, basically we kind of see that solution already in, for example, Martinus, which has something like a good angel implemented. When you're buying a book, you can actually round up the price of your order. And it's very small idea. It's just for those books, but we're actually reaching all over the market, which we can actually implement everyone and unify the approach of supporting green projects, not just in one e-commerce, but actually through the spectrum. With that, it's very easy to implement. It's just one line code, and it's more about reaching enough sites to actually support the idea.
Okay.
I would have a question, Angelo, to the scalability and particularly to the greenwashing possibility for companies which you ask. So how do you do the process of picking companies which you want to scale up with?
So basically, we would like to be open with the ideas which you actually submit. I can see that, for example, a city municipality like Bratislava could participate with their projects, but we would like to be very open with also the personal projects which we could filter out and find out which are the best, but actually give people the opportunity to pick those which they are invested in. So,
quick question from me. Have you validated with the users, with citizens, if they're interested?
How do you mean validated with the users?
Have you asked them if they would be willing to donate this type of money to city projects?
It's a green project. I would not say that it's a city project. I would say it's a tipping for your environment, green environment, and they will pick the projects which they will be interested in. So it will be something in their area. If you are living in the Bratislava, you probably will tip on the Bratislava projects, not on other city. So it should be very actionable for them and see the results.
Thank you. Any other question, colleagues? Matthew?
Maybe how is the financing and what's the business model? Who received the funds which are then tipped?
I think there should be some NGO which will facilitate all the money from the customers. And based on the tracking of the projects which they were tipping, basically, we would basically give those money to those projects.
Thanks, Angelo. Christina?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, jury. Thank you, Angelo. This was the green tipping of Clima-X. I really liked Mate's question about greenwashing. We had a little smile here in the studio, so we like the juries and we like the pitches. Now, we have a team whose name is Good Dot. So it's like good in capital letters and there's a dot in the end. So all I can say about them is that they should be decent, at least. I hope you're ready. You have 3 minutes and the time starts now.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm here for the team Good. And the solutions we were working on in the past 48 hours was a development of a web application which can integrate various data, visualize and model possibly future scenarios based on this data with respect to green urban areas in the city. And this application can be used by city authorities during the decision-making process and inform residents about the situation in their specific areas. What was done? So we were able to create the application based on the available data and with a potential to implement more data in the future. And this app is also scalable for other cities. And we were able to address and realize that the city authorities have struggled to integrate the various data from different institutions. So this can be a helpful tool even for them, as we already discussed with our mentors. And this is how the application looks like now. So as we see here, we used the bus lines as a proxy, and we used CO2 produced by the buses and the amount of CO2 which can be sequestered by the trees. And by the moving of this button, we can basically simple model the amount of air pollution, in this case with CO2. And our solution, we believe that it's simple and it can integrate various data, not just the data about air pollution, but different ones as well. And it's novel because the data which are available over the different sources and institutions are not very well integrated yet. And it's data-driven approach for which can help city authorities and residents to help tackle them different important future challenges. What we need to do next is to integrate more data sources, for example, temperature or pollution from cars, demography, evaluate possible fundings, budget and costs, and we need to make our modeling more precise, and also to calculate the return of investments in green areas with regards to improved health of the citizens. And our vision for implementing our solution, we will need a vast amount of data, as much data as we can basically get. And we need to present our ideas and tools to city authorities and to the public, and also need to get fundings for and support for our work. And that's all from my part. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It was good. Good. That's the best joke I could come up with, but your name is lovely. So thank you for the presentation, and I'm giving the word to Petra.
Thank you very much. So anyone wants to start? Slava?
Do you think about business model? It will be a subscription model, or what type of business model do you have?
So we were thinking, since our idea was this can be mainly important for the city authorities, and this can be probably funded by some European Union money, especially when there are these big debates about the Green Deal policy. So perhaps there will be more money for projects like that in the future. And also maybe some private owners or private companies which would like to use some green areas.
Thank you, Petra. You mentioned vast amount of data, so I'm just thinking about the scalability. How do you see it in this direction?
You mean the scalability over different cities?
Yes, that you would need a vast amount of data.
I mean, I was maybe exaggerating a little bit, but well, we definitely need as much data as we can get, right? And we would also like to work with the temperature to see and model the heat islands, for example, things like that.
Uwe?
Yes, you mentioned that for the CO2 prediction, you used buses as a proxy. So you do actually have a model that takes input data and produces fits against a target?
In this case, it was very simple calculation, just for the purpose of showing like what we can do, and it was just like very simple calculation based on the length of the bus lines and the amount of CO2 produced.
It's more physical estimation.
Yes, right now it's very physical.
Okay, thanks.
So you mentioned a tool that city can use. So tell me what I can do with it right now.
Well, right now it's not quite ready yet, but in the future you can get the overview of where what kind of areas are polluted or which kind of areas suffer the most by the heat, and then you can even predict or model how the amount of green areas in that area can influence these characteristics.
And when you talk green areas, you only think trees or other types of?
Yeah, those can be different types: vertical gardens, roof greens, parks, single trees.
Great, thank you very much. Christina, it's yours.
Thank you very much, Petra, for excellent timekeeping, and thank you, Good, for an excellent presentation. Next up, we have Green Roofies. This name cracks me up. It's a lovely name, but we have Michal, Natalia, Alois, Ludmila, Adam, and Denis that got together. Not all of them knew each other before. We had some family involvement, and they were working online from 5 locations in 2 countries. Now, I'll giving the word to Green Roofies. You have 3 minutes.
Good afternoon, my name is Michal Pál, and I'm presenting you our project Thriving Bratislava on behalf of our team, Green Roofies. Despite overwhelming scientific evidence, we still ignore climate change. Temperature is rising year after year, and the heat island effect is strong in the cities, creating real hazard for citizens. Rain, which is supposed to cool city down, has slowly changed to more frequent quick rain downbursts, bringing even more hazards like flash floods. According to the scientists, to effectively communicate about the climate change, we must appeal both parts of our brains, so communications must be more personal. Our vision is to improve the quality of life in the city during the escalated climate crisis through building green roofs, which are cleverly placed in the city according to big data analyzed by artificial intelligence. We are using RGB and infrared maps acquired by autonomous UAV airplanes. Outputs are in much higher resolution and accuracy than data from satellites. Dealing with such amount of data is very time demanding, but our project is using automated evaluation of the data for easier selection of the building areas for implementation of green roofs. Our web platform shows data about potential green roofs candidates in specific areas of the city with precise benefit information. The web platform aims to help engage the general public into creating climate-resilient Bratislava by making the information easy to access and, more importantly, very personal. We offer City a tool which can be also used for targeted policy making of a sustainable and resilient city. We offer citizens and commercial entities a platform for establishing end-to-end contact with contractors. Innovations, data used to analyze climate situation in the city can be acquired periodically and help verify if already deployed green roofs are working. We have designed a proposal for an awareness campaign which can target citizens from various social categories. Before Climathon, we had a team idea and our data from city in Eastern Slovak Republic as demo data. During Climathon, we have created automated data processing pipeline web platform that showed green roof candidates in specific areas in the city and their potential with additional supportive info. In the future, we can also include potential green walls and find roofs suitable to introduce more bees into the city. Multiple revenue streams can help a project to be financed from multiple sources and not placing all the costs on the city. So thank you for your attention. We have a few more ideas. We would like to include...
I'm so sorry. You had to present one idea and you almost made it in 3 minutes and now you made me cut you off. Well, that was 3 minutes of Green Roofies by Michal, and I'm giving the word to the COVID confinement units. Please judge.
Thank you very much. Again, I'm offering a space to my colleagues. Not yet. Okay, Uwe, go. Sorry.
Maybe I'm always going into the technical part, but that's probably why I'm here. How can I imagine that this your model basically analyzes the city and tells then the city, this is a roof that should be green, this is a roof that should be green?
Yes.
Okay, and that is based on?
That is based on various data which we get it from our team members. One of our team members is owner of a company which produces green roofs, so he has very good insight in it, in this. Also, we use infrared data and RGB imagery, which is analyzed.
So when you say, sorry, Uwe, when you say you want us to put a green roof somewhere, but if we don't know the building, how do we do that?
Sorry?
We are not owners of all the buildings in the city, so...
Oh, yeah. We would like to be really personal with our advertisements. So we would like to include our advertisement in the format of, let's say, QR code on which arrives to you on some documents which come from the city, and you can scan the QR code and it brings you specifically to your building. So you can see your building, how it is doing, and then it is up to the owners to decide.
Okay, Maciej?
We give them all data. Sorry.
Thank you, Petra. I was quicker with the question. Maybe what is the main role of the city in your solution?
Main role of the city is to help connect us through their channels to citizens, because they are in constant contact with citizens. If someone wants something from a city, they contact the city, and the city can give them information that, by the way, here is our green roof project, you should participate.
Could it happen on the platform?
Sorry?
The communication, could it happen on the platform?
Yes, actually, we were thinking about integrating into one CRM, but in one weekend we couldn't do it.
Slavo?
What can be your role? You are something like a consultant or the middleman, or what's your future role as a team with that product? Because I'm a little bit lost.
Yes, our team is comprised from people from various areas. We are actually people who fly with the drones or UAVs, and we are experts in data processing. So we could analyze the data or help build the tooling, and also we have a few marketing people in here. So we basically can be like a middleman, connecting customers with producers of the roofs.
Thank you, Green Roofies. Back to the studio.
Thank you, Petra. Thank you, the jury, and thank you, Green Roofies. That was Michal. If you want to find out if your roof is suitable for greening, then you ask them. Next up, we have Holandská spojka, or if I were to translate the Dutch connection, I would say alluring to the movie French Connection. And I would also venture a guess that maybe this team has something to do with the Netherlands. Maybe they live there. Maybe they like windmills or wooden shoes or something else. Now I would invite Holandská spojka. I think it's going to be Igor, who's the leader of Holandská spojka, or the Dutch connection. You can sort of understand that I'm kind of stalling maybe, and that's because he needs to turn on his presentation, and from the look on his face that I have here in the studio, he's not successful as of now. Yes, he managed. This
Perfect.
is absolutely excellent.
Can you see it? Good, great. So, so Kika, thank you very much for a lovely introduction. Hi, I'm Igor, and I would like to show you the ways how to mitigate urban heat island in Bratislava. So everybody wants to fight climate change, but people generally do not know what to do. And especially urban heat island appears to be a too big problem for individual citizens. Therefore, we have developed an interactive web map application, which is helping to navigate murky waters of climate mitigation. Essentially, it's a very simple process. First, user will choose his location, where the area assessment is performed. Each area is characterized by 3 different impact categories: greenery, buildings, and paved surfaces. For each category has its own list of mitigation measures. And each mitigation measure is rated by its effects on the location. This is a very crucial element in motivation, in the motivation of citizens, as they can see how certain measures are influencing their environment. For example, how they are mitigating the urban heat island, how they are increasing property value, how they are reducing noise or improving air quality. And at the end, user will get all the information necessary to build his solution. For example, he will know access to funding, or legal context, or some links to best practices. So how we do it? we are combining satellite data and city data to get the best picture of the location. And we are combining this with our impact assessment table. We are using moisture and vegetation index from satellite data to assess the cooling potential of existing greenery. And city data gives us enough detail about current built environment. And we are combining this with the results of a dozen scientific studies which are quantifying effects of climate mitigation measures on the environment. So at the end, we are increasing citizen participation by democratizing access to information. We are bringing transparency to local governments. And this tool also helps to support data-driven decision-making on the governmental level and also on the communal level within the local communities. We are a small team of 3 people, but we have all necessary skill set to develop and deliver such solution. During this hackathon, we have validated need for such tool with the city mentors. We have built proof of concept for our geoprocessing module, and we have built detailed.
Thank you, Igor. Thank you. This was the 3 minutes, but.
So we are nearly done. But anyhow, thank you very much.
Yes, the jury will now ask questions. Petra, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Igor, for your presentation. So what are the next steps?
What are the next steps? Essentially, the question is on you. What you want to do with us? Because we see a great potential, a great overlap with our solution, and we see that city can greatly benefit from it. So probably let's sit behind the table and discuss further steps.
And have you asked the citizens?
Well, several, but not on a level to essentially judge the need from the citizens.
I think that would be the next step. Colleagues?
Yes.
Question?
Yeah, that's correct.
Uwe?
How can I imagine your product vision? What is it that you see there in the end, in the best case?
Well, for sure, we can really bring more data streams into the pile. So for now, we are really looking at the urban heat island mitigation. It was essentially the easiest solution which we can develop. But for example, adding maybe some rain and flash floods, we can really increase the offer. And at the end, go on, please.
I mean, from a user's point of view, me as a citizen of Bratislava or me as a city planner. Make it quick, otherwise I used to.
Okay. Yeah. So at the end, we can really be a data provider or information provider for both parties.
Great. Slavo, Maciej? Maciej?
Maybe my question is, how old is this idea?
3 days.
Really? Nice.
Yeah. Thank you.
Slavo?
From your perspective, is it non-profit, or do you want to scale it into other cities and have some business model and company, or
yeah, for sure there are some commercial for city and for citizens that's for sure non-profit, funded probably by EU grants, but maybe there are some aspects of commercial application that for each measure we can maybe link it with some company which is delivering the solution, so we can maybe sell the advertising or really monetize the presence on the web page. Maybe something along these lines.
Okay, great, Igor. And I'm gonna give the stage back to Christina.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Petra. Thank you, Igor. It was a lovely presentation of Holandská spojka, or the Dutch connection. The guys, I believe they were in Netherlands. They didn't have the occasion to tell us that, but we had another idea about urban heat islands. It seems that we have quite some niches of ideas. We had mobility, we had these heat islands, we had some crowdsourcing through green tipping. Next up, we have eRIVERBANK. Now, this is a funky project. It's a consortium of Slovak startups that are together in an accelerator under the name of Challenger, and they got together to bring their idea a little bit further over the last 48 hours. And without further ado, I would like to give words to Martin. You have 3 minutes.
Hi, we are eRIVERBANK, cluster of startups that formed in the Challenger Accelerator program. We are solving e-mobility and the decarbonization of Bratislava. We also care about public space and, of course, about the Danube riverbanks. The problem is that you cannot always see Danube while walking on the riverbank because of the flood barriers. There was a solution proposed in Mestské zásahy suggesting that you could put a park on top of an old barge so people can get closer to the river. Now, we would like to bring this idea to a new level. This is eRIVERBANK. Let me tell you more about its features. In Arche, we developed Spear, alternative hydropower plant that uses waving fins instead of propellers that would get damaged by floating debris. We need intelligent movement and power control that we are consulting with makers even before Challenger. But during Climathon, we focus also on smart grid capabilities and power energy management, advanced energy management, creating a new electric backbone of the project. So we have plenty of power now. Let's share it. In Climathon, we learned that there is a massive electrobike and scooter traffic on the riverbank, as they have to avoid city center and they need charging. HVolt brings an affordable charging solution for private owner with possibility to share it like an Airbnb. They have experience with charging cars, bikes, even boats. And cars and boats can be a little hungry. In order to charge them efficiently, we needed energy storage. We could just buy a new battery, but what would be fun in that? eVision has a way of regenerating old lead-based batteries, so there is less waste and no production damage to the environment. We also wanted to engage citizens to be a part of the solution. The idea is Bratislava would encourage citizens to bring old lead batteries to us, we would regenerate them and connect them to storage array inside the hall. So there is a park and people waiting for their bikes to charge. It was no-brainer that we need a cafe too. This is where 5x5 comes in. They designed modular building system that is easy to build, is recyclable, and it uses environmentally friendly materials. So to sum it up, eRIVERBANK is a unique environmentally friendly solution. It is universal e-transport hub with its own clean energy source. It can stabilize electrical grid. It provides leisure and cultural space for citizens. We talked to Slovak National Gallery and they like the space for exhibitions. And cherry on top, it has a biodiversity nesting space at the stern. eRIVERBANK would cost about 2 million euros. This is in the scope of European innovative grants like Horizon Europe. And it would produce 110,000 euros worth of electricity yearly, plus cafe and docket profits. It would be a public space that covers its maintenance and provides income to the city. So let's build it together. Thank you and see you on board.
Thank you very much, Martin, and the super band of startups, of which there was 5 or 6. Now I give the word to the COVID confinement units and Petra.
Thank you, Christina. So, quick question. You mentioned income to the city. How do you envision that?
It can be that the city uses our power directly, which means saving on the, for example, for city lights. Or you can sell the power to the chargees. Whoever charges them gets the electricity. Yeah, and those are two main.
Okay. One another follow-up question from me is, what was the progress made during the hackathon? Because you already developed the idea for a while, so what have you done?
This idea, like we have had an idea with Spear to also cooperate with Bratislava, but this whole idea of e-transportation hub is completely new, and it just came to be for Climathon challenge.
Gentlemen, Maciej?
Maybe that's the follow-up question. Basically, can you a little bit quantify how much time at least you spend during the weekend on the idea?
Okay, so in Friday night, about 2 o'clock in the morning, the model was done, like for the rendering. Then 5x5 guys continued on it whole Saturday. We were doing some calculations that I didn't include in the presentation just to verify if electricity can work, and it can. And we did the presentation, and so it was like 12 hours a day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Sunday maybe 6 hours. But
Thank you, Martin. Slava, over. Slava?
What are your next steps next month, for example? Do you have some places or do you have some models where you can test the whole idea?
So our startups, they have their technology already tested in market. Some of them in market, some of them in building one-to-one prototypes. Actually, with Spear, we are only TRL about 6. So we need to build first a huge prototype that we test on the river. We didn't do that, but we need like $500,000 to do it. So we are fundraising for this in the Challenger Accelerator. Hopefully that goes fine. And we can imagine this working if everything goes fine. In 3 years, we will be capable to deliver a solution.
Uwe, do you have a question?
Yes, but that was taken away from me. Slava wanted to talk about. No, sorry for that.
So maybe just the climate risks which you might face in future on the river.
So far, what we know is Danube is not going to get dry anytime soon, as far as we know. And about the climate, this unit would save as much as maybe 6,000 tons of CO2, just replacing general electricity by this clean electricity.
And we've somehow lost Martin. Anyway, we're running out of time.
Thank you so much, Christina.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. This was actually right on time. We had like 5 seconds left, so we can discuss the future plans later. This was Martin from eRIVERBANK, the super band of startups on the River Danube. Next up, we have the ninth presentation from CARE. It's a funny team of Anna, Adela, Hanna, Lukáš, and Marian, who just met at Climathon for the first time. So another beautiful hackathon story. And their idea was born on a Miro board during 20+ hours of Zoom calls they have had since Friday. So City Care or Care, if you are ready, you can start. Your 3 minutes are on.
Okay, I can hear you. I'm so sorry, really. I'm not sure if you can see me.
It's okay. We are. Please share your screen. If you could share your screen, you had it on, but it's no longer on. I don't think she can hear me.
Petition Strike says that there is interest in the topic, but people lack steps and goals that they could change this situation. Our idea is that people can care about the city as about their body, but health and improve it in the same way. How it works, the user analyzes how health his her surrounding is in terms of climate. He gets a number of challenges and tasks in the form of a motivation game where he can change his daily behavior step by step. User can gradually get involved in the small and large challenges, such as start to walk to work, building as a I'm so really sorry.
We're sorry, yes, your presentation was not running. We could hear you very well, but you can restart. Just.
Now you can see that? Because I can hear you.
Yes, you can hear us, but we can see you too, but we can't see the presentation. So could you share your screen again? Share the window with the presentation, which I believe you had on PDF. It's okay. It's okay. Do not stress.
Yes, we can see your screen now.
Oh, well, but it's not working now. I'm really sorry. I don't know why.
It's okay. Just open the PowerPoint with your presentation.
Because I couldn't hear you. So, okay. Can I get again? I'm so really
yes,
sorry.
Go again.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Well, hello, everybody. I just was really prepared. Sorry. Well, as I said, the problem of climate that we saw was that it's often too big and abstract for individuals. People may want to get involved, but they do not know how can do something as individuals. As I said, there is a people who is interested in the topic, but they lack the steps and goals that they could change the situation. As our idea is that people can care about the city as about their body health and improve it in the same way. Well, how it works, the user analyzes how healthy her surrounding is in terms of climate. He gets a number of challenges and tasks in the form of a motivation game where he can change his daily behavior step by step. And then user also can gradually get involved in the small and larger challenges, such as start to walk to work, building a community garden together with other people. User can also diagnose own climate footprint and according to that, get an individual plan with the daily tasks. When one finishes, he sees as a reward, for example, that his street is a cleaner. Benefits we bring to a person is a quantification of its impact on the city, informing the user about the real steps he can take and grow of his activities thanks to the game. We also see the potential in connecting the citizens with his street and a municipality. The city gains active users and knows where they are. Citizens can get motivation from the city as, for example, grant for their street. Inside the diagnostics that I mentioned, we checked and used the data from the city as a vulnerability atlas, open data and MIB data. In Bratislava, there are a few similar solutions in this similar topic, but our solution brings elements of interactivity and can help various climate topics together. Well, we a little bit think about our business model. We thought about the grant strategies, but also, for example, we are thinking about the alternatives where the user pays for a part of the app. Well, this is the mirror board where we collect our ideas during the Climathon. And this is our super nice team that is connect the free designers and the architects.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you very much. You've lived through this even though we had some technical difficulties. I could see that you were a little bit nervous, but this was a lovely presentation nonetheless. It's a pity we didn't see the beautiful visualization, but they were very nice. And Petra's going to appreciate that you used mirror board. So thank you again. Petra, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Christina. And Anna, thank you for your presentation. And I'm really happy that you stuck with us, even though technology sometimes fails us. My question is, what's your secret sauce? What kind of data do you use? What kind of technology?
Okay. Well, as I mentioned, we are a team of just designers and architects for now. So I think if we want to work on this project, our next steps will be the thing about more about the technical solutions. We don't have any magic for now. We just need to connect with the data scientists and think more about how we can involve the data there and really use it for our functions, or maybe more think about if we need to use all of these functions.
Mm-hmm. Gentlemen, Maciej?
What role of the city do you see there, or how can city help you to bring it more forward?
Okay, I think the city is very important for us as a partner, and we need to discuss together maybe their goals and the other projects. and how we can maybe together cooperate, and also how maybe it can be useful for them. So I think it can be the next discussion with Petra, and we also or other strategies in the city, because we also during the hackathon we discuss with Petra, with Eduard, and so I think that they gave us some like the ideas, and we've, let's say, yeah.
Thank you, Anna. Slavo had a question.
Can you describe maybe your potential user of your solution?
We were thinking a lot about it, and our primary group is the young people. The young people, as I mentioned, who maybe joined the strikes or some petitions, or they want to do something but they don't know what to do now, or they are a little bit lost in information. So primarily, really, people who are already motivated a bit.
Perfect. Thank you, Uwe.
Yeah, I'm not sure we have time for that, but maybe quick. How would an application example look like? Because I'm a very visual person, that's why I didn't really follow fully your talk. So one example that where you use this application to achieve something.
Okay. For example, you mean the one, like the one task or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say the air quality, it's not very good in or I'm working and going by my car to the work, and I see that my footprint is not very good, and also the surrounding around me is not very good and in good condition. So I choose that I want to do something with that and get my individual plans, let's say some like a task that can be a bit more like a game, to step by step to change my habits to let's say go with the public transportation or by foot.
Yeah. Thank you, Anna, very much. Christina.
We're back at you. Thank you very much. My confined jury, which just a couple of meters away from me, but yet so far away. This was Care. This was Anna, who managed to overcome through the technical challenges. And then we have the last presenter, which is City Intelligence Lab. And you have 3 minutes, so please start now.
Yeah, thanks. So I present for the Intelligence Lab. We think of environment-aware routing and navigation. Specifically, we came up with the idea to develop a framework for rain-avoiding navigation targeted towards cyclists and pedestrians, and something that surprisingly does not really exist yet. So let me start with a little story. This is our group under a rain shelter on our last trip to Bratislava in August, and well, we were 2 minutes too late, absolutely soaked and surprised by the rain. I guess everybody more or less had the same experience before, and there are many more cases where it would be great to know what the weather is about to do next. And this matters because it affects the choice of transportation. So it's more likely to choose a car, for instance, when it looks like rain outside. And this is reflected in data. Up to 80% of cyclist fluctuation can be explained by weather factors, including rain precipitation rate. Now, looking at Bratislava, 20 to 30% of the days of a month throughout the whole year, it rains. So it kind of matters here as well. Now, of course, there are some ways to cope with this, like weather apps and rain radars. So you can spend some time carefully watching the radar images and try to plan along with them, which is nice, but this could be done much better. And this brings us to our hack, to our idea to add the missing link between real-time environmental data, mapping, and navigation, to go beyond just visualizing radar images, but integrate them into algorithms that compute the fastest route that keeps you dry at the same point. So introducing rain race, rain avoidant navigation for cyclists and pedestrians. The scope of these 2 days, we did the following things. We made a mock-up of a user interface, Photoshop. We tried to create our own deep learning powered rain cloud nowcasting model to predict how clouds are moving in the near future using the pix-to-pix architecture. Then we tackled the issue of adopting pathfinding algorithms in a way that they can navigate not only through space, but also through time and a dynamically changing environment. And that are the moving rain clouds. This we implemented in Grasshopper as a proof of concept. Finally, we used a couple of data sources, a large radar image data set for the machine learning training and API for real-time radar images and OSM data for the mapping. Now the core features are rain avoiding navigation that gives you a dry route and flexible departure times, cloud movement prediction, and push alerts when rain is approaching, so you know it's time to find a shelter. This is how it looks like, and there are some specialties. The user can set preferences, how dry they want to arrive, and if they're flexible with their departure time. For instance, if it's okay to just wait out the rain shower and then start your route. In practice, different settings lead to different routes. Here's an example with different settings for rain avoidance, and you see how the computed path differs. Now, additionally, we provide a chart that tells you how much water you saved yourself.
Thank you, and I'm very sorry to catch you like this, but it was tremendous up until now. This was City Intelligence Lab, making sure it never rains on our parade ever again. Now, to the jury, Petra, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I, as a cyclist, would actually appreciate this very much because it seems to rain every single time I'm riding, so it will be great. So how much of the work you've already done, are these real apps or just mock-ups?
We have developed separate models for the machine learning, for the rain cloud prediction, for the routing. They kind of work. The machine learning model not so good, so there's much work left. The routing works quite well, but we haven't connected it. So we made some mock-ups and prototypes. And the next step would be to kind of reprogram them in Python, for instance, bring them to the cloud so we can have them in a connected system. But as a proof of concept, I think we reached something.
Perfect, gentlemen. Maciej?
Maybe how accurate is the model at the moment? How many people will get wet even though they don't want to?
It's a good point. We definitely need to validate that. We have a limited resolution of time, so we have time steps. It's like every 2 minutes we have a new radar image, for instance. So this is like the resolution of time we have, and this defines the accuracy of this whole thing. Yeah, it would be super interesting to validate this a bit, but we didn't have the time to go in this direction. We just compared our computation with our model data with a classical shortest path algorithm. And for that, well, yeah, we avoided all the rain, but it's like an internal.
Uwe, Slava, do you have a question? Uwe?
I want to. How do you plan to bring this forward? Is that something, it's a public service, or what's the plan there? So next steps, so to say.
I think they're frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we have get foot there. So, pardon?
You were just frozen until now.
Oh yeah, sorry. So we would focus on refining our algorithms and bring them on a server and integrate them. I think this is, and then we can offer them as API for other mapping companies, for instance, or think of if you want to make a niche navigation app that focuses on environment.
So we are breaking up, unfortunately.
Yeah, but at least the answer was done. Thanks.
Clear. Yeah, I would be wondering.
Navigation, we could add more features. We start with rain.
No, unfortunately, the technology is failing us again.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, okay.
You can try to repeat it now.
Okay, focus on the backend part to refine our algorithms, chain them up together, bring them in the cloud. And then I think our business model would rather be provide our algorithms to other mapping companies as an API and so on. The other option would be to try also to develop like a niche mapping product, a niche mapping app for environmental aware navigation. Let's say we integrate them wind and sun and shade into it. And this would be maybe more for the hardcore cyclists that do like long range cycle tours. This was actually an idea we got from one of the tutors. He was putting that out.
Okay, great, perfect. Thank you so much. And I'm giving the mic to Christina. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Petra. Maybe next time we can make a hackathon about Zooms and Google Hangouts and Teams and all these technologies so that we will not have to experience these technical difficulties ever again. But these were our 10 ideas. I can repeat the names. We had the Swiss Re students, we had Trexi, we had Embassy of Innovators, we had Clima-X, we had Good, we had Green Roofies, we had the Dutch Connection, we had eRIVERBANK, we had CARE, and we had City Intelligence Lab. So this was the 10 participants. They worked day and night over the weekend to present this polished version. They did a great job. Sometimes the technology fails you, but well, there's some things that you can't really control. Now, the jury shall convene in the privacy while they were in the confinement units, but they're gonna go into one room virtually. And they will select the winner of the many prizes that we have to give out tonight. A quick reminder, these are the prizes that shall be distributed in about 30 minutes. We have the Geodata prize, 1,250 euros for the best usage of geolocation data provided by the Ministry of Environment. We have the student awards by Swiss Re to 3 teams of 2,000, 1,500 and 500 euros. And we have the main prize of 2,000, 1,000 and 500 euros as well for the best ideas addressing the city challenges. And we also have the prize for the first team in the student awards, and in the normal awards, they're gonna get some time in Hub. They can continue working on their ideas here. The criteria jury judges on is implementation, usefulness, innovativeness, and strategic alignment with the city. Now, while the jury is deciding this pickle, we will welcome Alicia Montoya, our keynote speaker for tonight. Alicia is a business strategist, innovator, and marketer with more than 20 years of experience in global B2B, B2C, and public sector roles. She joined Swiss Re in 2012. Her focus is on innovation, product development, and commercialization of solutions addressing some of the world's most urgent challenges, the biggest risks, from climate change to natural catastrophes to sustainable food, energy, infrastructure, and transportation. She leads Quantum Cities. She will tell us more about it now during her TED Talk style keynote speech. Welcome, Alicia. The floor is yours. We're stoked to hear you.
Hello. Can you hear me and can you see my screen? Hello? Can you hear me and can you see my screen?
Yes, well, we can't see you.
You can't see me?
Well, I can see you, but I can't see your screen.
Oh, okay. Okay, let me try again.
All right, so while we wait till the technical issues solve themselves, we can also mention that Alicia also leads the Swiss Re Institute of Research Commercialization Unit. So that's something she will be talking to us about right now. I believe everything is all right now, so you can start.
Perfect. So first of all, good evening, Bratislava, and thank you for having me. I have to say, I actually resisted the invitation to participate in this Climathon at first, and I'm so happy that my colleagues insisted. You and all the participants have filled my weekend with so much hope for the future. It's really inspiring and humbling to see all the great ideas that have come out. I've mentored a few teams this weekend and helped them think holistically about how we can help cities and people like Petra think about risks in their interconnectivity and then solve solutions that fix problems across the board. And this is a very difficult thing to do. And so I want to share a little bit about how Swiss Re is thinking about cities to hopefully inspire our next phase of collaboration, which hopefully will be to bring the winning solution to life. Now, before I start, I hope everybody knows who Swiss Re is. Swiss Re is a leading reinsurer. And as such, we do two things. One is to develop risk intelligence, and that's based on using data, technology, analytics, risk expertise in order to better predict and prevent risks. So this is really the holy grail of where we want to be. And of course, for the risks that we can't prevent or mitigate, we do risk transfer. That means we take on some of the risk and we use our capital in order to help cities, governments, companies, and individuals bounce back from whatever catastrophes. Now, before we can even think about how are we gonna solve these city needs, we need to bear in mind that there are many things we cannot control. And they're coming at us from every angle, and they are hurting our economies and societies. Now, this year has been epic on the risk side. There's really, I don't even have words to say. I mean, we started with the wildfires in Australia, which then went to California. COVID-19 has brought us all to our knees. You know, there have been, I think there were 28 storms so far this year. Yeah, so it's very difficult to plan holistic, integrated strategies when you're also dealing with so much uncertainty. And so my key message here is we need to do the best we can to improve what we have at hand, because otherwise nobody will be able to cover the risks that are coming our way. And of course, a lot of these, the wildfires, the increased, more frequent and more severe storms are being affected by climate change. And yes, we can improve or at least mitigate some of the worst effects through our actions. And I was so inspired to see throughout the weekend so much focus on getting people on board. And it is my honor to work with the Swiss Re team, but also Civita, Hub, and all the amazing organizations that have come together with Climate KIC in order to help us think about, okay, so if we have the technologies, if we have the solutions, how can we get people on board? Because we are the world's problems, but we are also the world's solutions. So let's see, how can we help Bratislava? Now, you have been working all weekend to solve two things, climate resilience and mobility. Two huge topics, not just for Bratislava, but actually across the world. And when we look at these challenges, we start seeing that these are happening in a very dense area, and they are happening at the same time, and they are happening against the same budgets. And so finding ways to creatively and engagingly and impactfully transform our cities in order to improve climate resilience and to transition to cleaner, more public mobility are huge challenges. So the theory is that we can build partnerships, research, models, risk frameworks in order to help us accurately model challenges and drive impactful change. And this is indeed how we think about things. And so we follow this very structured process to build resilience. However, the reality is that risks in sectors are not only interconnected, we're actually building on existing structures and budgets are limited. And so please have a moment of love for your city officials here, trying to deal with the right-hand side of the screen with everybody shouting at them from different angles, and with them dealing with natural catastrophes and the increased frequency of storms, floods, droughts, heat waves that you're seeing in Bratislava. And so, first of all, there's good news. So there's a lot that is being done. Bratislava is a member of the Global Covenant of Mayors for Climate and Energy, and there's a number of mitigation and adaptation measures that are on their way. And there's a whole national plan. So this is great, but we need to help them and we need to accelerate. Then there's mobility. And again, these two are interconnected because, of course, depending on your transport choices, you're going to have a bigger or smaller effect on emissions and climate. So it's really important that we find ways to solve for these city challenges without killing our environment. And when we talk about sustainability, it really is about bringing well-being and livability to your city for citizens to live happy, safe, healthy lives within a thriving economy and without damaging the environment that sustains us. And bringing these three aspects together is easier said than done. However, the good news is we have a lot of great data and we have fantastic technology and we have our great minds to work together towards some of these solutions. And so I want to introduce Swiss Re Institute's approach to cities. We call it quantum cities because it starts with data. And it's all about understanding the interconnectivity of actors in the economy and society, and then using technologies to solve for these complex risks. I don't need to tell you why we're focusing on cities, because you live in one and you are probably experiencing many of the stress factors that we are all experiencing in our cities. And that is growing populations, increased stress on resources, and as I said, limited budgets, which are not going to look better next year after COVID. And so solving for these cities is very difficult. And just to give you a data point, actually two. One is the world population has doubled in my lifetime. I'm 44 years old. So 44 years ago, we were 3.6 billion people. Today, we're over 7.2. Try to get that in your head. And now here comes another one. The world will build an entire New York City every month for 40 years. Now you start realizing the dimension of the challenge and how we can build infrastructure, green and clean. How can we build mobility to serve all these people and keep our economies thriving without chopping down every tree and, emitting tons of terrible gases. So we need to find ways to maximize prevention, optimize risk management, and design innovative covers for a holistic protection of our economies and societies and cities. And so, as I mentioned, these risks are very much interconnected. So when you look at the World Economic Forum's views on the risks that we face, you can see that climate is squarely in the middle, very important and sadly gaining importance, and then affecting all kinds of other risks that are interconnected. And so again, we need to solve for climate, but we need to solve for all of the other issues as well. And you see those in your cities, social instability. Do you have a socially cohesive city? Does everybody get access to the right services? Does everybody have equal pay? Can our city thrive? And can we manage the accumulation that comes from dense urban environments? So when we think about 10 million people, 20 million people, 30 million people in these megacities, how are we going to solve for 30 million people eating sustainably, living in sustainable housing, moving in a clean way, and having happy, safe, healthy lives? This is what we want with quantum cities. And so we're working with in public-private research partnerships to solve for some of these very complex risks. Now, as societies digitize and concentrate in cities, this brings a lot of new risks, as we mentioned, but also brings enormous opportunity. This is the transformation that we want to drive. And so we are, rather than looking at risks individually, like the insurance industry typically does, it looks at motor risks, it looks at property risks, it looks at all these verticals. We're looking at cities horizontally and looking at how these risks interconnect so that we don't solve for one and mess up the other three like we have done in the past when, for example, we decided that the best idea was to turn to green fuels. Yes, except that the price of corn multiplied by 20, and then we led a couple of countries into poverty. So what we want to do is we want to understand how food security, climate resilience, clean mobility, and infrastructure can live together in an optimal way. And every city is different. Every city has different risks that they face, and every city has different challenges. And so it's really important that we understand and work with local players in order to really solve for that city's specific requirements. So we're building a knowledge network, and that is a confluence of academic institutions, local, regional, and national governments, international associations, and focusing on the needs of the cities. And as I was drawing up this map, I thought, let's be the change we want to see in the world. I'm adding Bratislava. So I'm hoping that after today, Bratislava is going to be one of our new knowledge network partners, and that we're going to work together towards these two very important goals that you have been working on all weekend: climate resilience and mobility. Now, why did we call it quantum cities? Because everything starts with the data. And it's really important that we now have, and I don't need to tell the huge number of data scientists with us today, that we have a wealth of data. And if anything, our biggest problem is getting access to the right data, curating it in a way that is usable across scalable, trusted, decentralized networks, and using the latest technologies from IoT to computer vision in order to understand risks better and then be able to expand insurability and help develop some of the sectors that you see on the left in terms of mobility, health and living, the environment, and of course, the trade and infrastructure that we discussed earlier in order to help our economies thrive. And so we're working on a number of technology R&D projects in order to solve for some of these challenges. Now, one of them is how can we best bring humans and technology to work together towards a better future? And you always hear these like horror stories about automation is going to kill every job. No, it's not. Anybody who works with data and technology knows that if anything, we're expanding our jobs in that area in order to make best use of technology so as to best leverage it for our better economies and societies. But how we best leverage that, that is the question. Of course, we're looking at different platforms and technologies like DLTs and IoT in order to try to bring end-to-end solutions where we can share data and do powerful analytics on bigger data sets in order to better understand risks and then develop solutions for them. There's a huge revolution on how we can use technology for our life and health business. And that is changing day by day and so exciting. And now with COVID, of course, accelerated because remote patienting is the new big thing, sadly. But of course, this is also super important to get healthcare to places where you couldn't send a doctor. So this is really helping bring protection to a larger part of society across the world. And of course, how could I forget our climate change and natural catastrophe work, which is really one of it's actually how the reinsurance industry was born. It was through a fire that nobody could shoulder on their own. And so they created this thing called reinsurance. And it has never been more important to really try and mitigate as much as possible these risks. And then the ones that we cannot mitigate, to have the proper covers so that if it does happen to you, that you have somebody that can help economically to get you back on your feet, to get your business back on your feet, and for you to bounce back. So we're trying to solve some of the most fundamental questions and answers, and we start with the data from the sectors that you see at the bottom, and then we apply these new technologies and approaches in order to solve for some of these key questions. And really, these are questions that we get from our clients every day, and those clients include cities. And it's really difficult to know when you're having a supply chain, a supply chain break because you've had a natural catastrophe. It's very difficult to get all the siloed organizations working together to solve the problem and to get the city to bounce back. So getting the data is important and cleaning the data is critical, but then connecting the data is absolutely vital if we're going to get good insights from it. And so data ingestion, curation, modeling, and analytics is at the core of what we do at the Swiss Re Institute in order to help us have that end-to-end view and then develop solutions accordingly. And what we solve for is for resilient people, a resilient economy, and a resilient environment across some of the business verticals that you see below. And what is our special sauce is the risk knowledge. So we're 158 years old and still going strong and adding lots of new talent, like everybody in your virtual and real rooms listening right now, in order to really help us keep up to date with the latest modeling techniques and the best solutions we can develop. And some of the solutions are listed here. These are sectors or topics that are critical to our business and that are very important for the world to solve. Like supply chains, we talked about that. So how can we ensure that our economies and societies are supplied to, no matter what happens with pandemics, no matter what happens with natural catastrophes. And when you think about cities like, for example, Abu Dhabi, where 98% of food is imported. So having a supply chain interruption becomes a matter of national, national importance. And it's really, really important that we can help make cities handle those risks well. The same goes for drought. I was born in Cape Town, where a couple of years ago, there was no water. My friends were queuing in order to get their daily allowance of water. And suddenly you start realizing just how spoiled we are in Europe and just how well we have it. And of course, we've talked about Bratislava's risks, and they are not negligible, but they will get worse with climate change if we don't do everything we can to solve and predict and prevent risks as much as we can. And I was so happy to hear so much great thinking this weekend over how we can do some of these things. So when you look at mobility, like how can we actually transition to multimodal urban mobility that is clean? Is it through prioritizing electric cars? Is it through public transport? Is it getting citizens involved in order for them to really take on the challenge? And really, I cannot insist enough, 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 is a billion. We are the problem, but we are also the solution. Every bottle counts. Every bike ride counts. Everything you do at work counts. Everything we do collectively over the next 20 years is going to decide on the future of our species. So the challenge is enormous, but we have everything we need to solve it. So to summarize, this is a huge opportunity for us to transition our economies and societies using our data and technology that we have today and fix and prepare a better future for all of us. And Swiss Re is working on public-private research partnerships, and we hope to extend that to Bratislava after this Climathon in order to bring large-scale transformational projects to help with the Petra and her team's vision for Bratislava. And with that, I would like to leave you with a video on how we're thinking about climate change and urban resilience, and then we'll head over to the winners. Thank you.
Year after year, millions of people leave their villages in search for a job and a better life in the city. For the first time in human history, more of us now live in towns and cities than in the countryside. By 2050, 7 out of 10 people will be living in an urban location. Cities have become the hubs of the world economy. They generate over 80% of global income and provide opportunity for millions of workers, business owners, and investors. But many towns and cities face a large risk from flooding, sea level rise, and other natural hazards. And climate change could make matters even worse. When extreme weather and heavy storms occur in densely populated urban areas, they can cause considerable damage. Floods, for example, can happen very frequently. They affect more people than any other type of natural disaster. Since 2000, floods have killed over 800,000 people and have cost the world $420 billion. In many places, poor urban planning and the lack of funds to improve protection amplify the damage from other disasters too, like earthquakes. So we need to manage risk to make our cities safer. This is why we need chief resilience officers and other experts to monitor risks our cities face and take action. Saving lives and minimizing losses are their main priorities. A lot can be done to prevent and reduce the risk before a disaster strikes. For example, building flood walls and dikes, retrofitting buildings, and upgrading old infrastructure. But also innovating with new measures, such as greening rooftops to absorb water, or turning underground parking into reservoirs, to divert floodwaters in a controlled way. But when a disaster occurs, cities also need money to rebuild quickly afterwards. And this is where insurance comes in. Just like homeowners buy insurance to pay for damage to their property, insurance can also help cities cover the costs for repairing roads and power lines, for example. There's a range of insurance products available which can be made to fit the needs of cities, such as solutions to weather problems, as well as hurricane and earthquake covers. Some of them use new technologies like satellite data and pay out immediately when rainfall exceeds certain levels, winds reach dangerous speeds, or seismic activity becomes too intense. This helps communities get back on their feet quickly after a catastrophe. It's cheaper and more effective to prepare and adapt now than to face the ever-rising costs of future disasters. And that's why we at Swiss Re believe in managing climate and natural disaster risk.
Thank you, Alicia. Alicia Montoya of Swiss Re. I believe you're in Zurich now, or Geneva. Well, you'll tell us. Thank you very much for your keynote, for your presentation. I have a quick question. Well, it sounds quick in my head. How would a public-private research partnership designed by Swiss Re Quantum Cities look like in Bratislava?
Okay, my dream. Great. So what I would love and how quantum cities could be brought to Bratislava is by bringing together the government. So that would be Petra and the mayor and all the relevant departments that are dealing with some of the key strategic issues that we're solving for. So climate adaptation, there's a whole national strategy there, mobility and how do these things connect, livability and health, so ensuring clean air, etc. And so we would bring the public sector, then we would bring private sector. So which are the companies from startups to Swiss Re and its partners in order to solve for these challenges. And those can be, depending on the challenges, it'll be mobility companies, it'll be tech companies, and it'll be hopefully, some of the startups from some of the amazing talent that we saw today, well, over the last weekend. The third element is academia. Now, I mentioned some of these risks need to be understood and modeled. And for that, we need local data, we need local models, and we need the knowledge to bring together the local knowledge with the global knowledge. And there, I would hope that there would be leading academics that would want to work with us for a sustainable Bratislava.
Thank you very much, Alicia. This was a very hopeful final message. We are very grateful for having you here. During the weekend, you were also mentoring a couple of the teams, offering your expertise and telling them about how to future-proof our city as well. So we are really hoping that Bratislava will be a quantum city. You were saying with Swiss Re, well, the second biggest location in Europe, I believe, is now in Bratislava. So you definitely have the manpower to help Petra with this. So thank you very much, Alicia, and good night to Zurich.
Thank you. Good luck to the winners.
All right, thank you very much. Now, I believe when I look to my left, there's a bunch of people that you don't see, but the results are in. I would like to extend the warmest welcome to this Petra that everybody was mentioning the whole time, the jury leader and the Chief Innovation Officeress of the city of Bratislava. Come here with me. Hello.
It's great to be here.
So Petra, how was your weekend?
Extremely intense, but really, really good to see this idea turning to life after nearly a year. And I'm super grateful for everyone to dedicate their energy, time and effort to actually create these amazing ideas. And it was great to hear the pitches and also work with the teams. And I also want to thank my colleagues, the business mentors, the data mentors who dedicated their time, and they really helped the teams. I could see the progress as we went along from Friday evening to today. So it's been a roller coaster, but it was great. I really, really enjoyed it.
And the cherry on top, the deliberation that must have been very difficult, but you were rather quick.
Yes, so basically, yeah, we had a strong discussion. We wanted to align it with our goals. We wanted to see how we can implement this solution and how we can benefit citizens. So it was quick, it was interesting, and I'm actually very excited to see the winners. So, and work with them for moving forward, because that's the whole goal, to basically work together and develop their ideas further. So.
All right, well, we're also very curious. There's many here who know the result. There's many who don't, including me, and including Nima Motazed, who I would like to welcome Nima here on this virtual stage. He's from Swiss Re, joining us virtually today due to cross-border COVID recommendations, as he is in Austria. He has two roles at Swiss Re today. He's currently head of global business services and local location head Swiss Re Slovakia. Swiss Re in Bratislava has been here for 14 years, has their offices in Twin City, and employs more than 1,600 people. And Swiss Re Slovakia was initially founded as a shared business service center, and today it is a center of excellence, serving Swiss Re globally as a data-driven risk management company using latest technologies. And why Swiss Re decided to be the main partner for this event, and why Nima encouraged so many employees to participate, actively supporting the Climathon. Well, this is Nima's time to tell us why he did it.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's great to be with you. And I joined you a little bit earlier and saw some of the presentations. Wow, so much energy. So, ladies and gentlemen, dear participants, dear guests, dear project partners, we have been through a long way to get here and to make the Climathon happen and to this final award ceremony. And I'm so excited about that. It took a lot of time, efforts, a lot of discussions, fine-tuning the details that have a huge impact on the overall quality of this event. And then it was you, the participants, to get you on board, offer you interesting and relevant ideas, challenges, mentors, attract your mind, skills, and enthusiasm. And we saw a lot of that today. Things do not happen instantly. You know, usually what is good takes time, takes effort, and you need a lot of good ideas. And I think we did it, and we did it very well. Maybe you are asking yourself why Swiss Re has been interested in Climathon, why we wanted to become its main partner. Now, well, the reason is directly linked to its name and to its objectives. Swiss Re's purpose is to make the world more resilient, to support those who from various reasons need to recover and to sustain. These are countries, these are companies, these are individuals. On one side, our focus is on sustainability and climate change being a huge area of our interest, which we have been highlighting for years. We've started with this topic already in the 70s of last century. We were being one of the first global companies to start this conversation. And on the other side, our knowledge, our risk managing ability, our solutions and products are being designed based on extensive data and expertise of our people. We see this as our mission to support data-driven ideas and future solutions which directly address climate change, which will contribute to increased resiliency of our city, Bratislava. And as you heard, the city in which we have our second largest Swiss Re operations. We feel ourselves also as a kind of responsible, and I see that as our mission to support you, the participant, via the mentoring by our expert, mostly data scientists. And it was a great pleasure, when I say great pleasure, actually it was a great chance to share and learn from each other. Before I conclude, let me say this. We have been living in unprecedented times. We all needed to show a lot of agility, commitment, curiosity, and strong will to adapt and move forward in a situation so different than this time last year. And I'm so pleased to see that all these attributes came together, over this weekend, and you could profoundly implement them. Thank you very much for that. I would like to express also a big thank you to our partners, City of Bratislava, Civita, and HubHub. It was a great pleasure and honor for us to be working with you. And please allow me now to say also a thank you to all of you who participated. Then without you, Climathon would be only a project ideation saved in a drawer. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Nima. These were lovely and kind words. It's fun that you talk about this time last year, because this time last year we wouldn't be here in this space. We wouldn't be wearing these face masks. We would probably be in a lovely physical area together. But we were flexible and we did all this virtually with 25 teams, 130 participants, 30 mentors, and God knows what else. But now it's the fun times. You can see Petra is already pretty stoked. It's the first award is the Geodata prize of 1,250 euros for the best usage of geolocation data. The data was provided by the Ministry of Environment, and the prize was provided, I believe, also by them, but yes, very much so. So we have this information. It will be coming to the scene soon as I narrate. Oh, you have an envelope.
And
but
we have one as well.
Yes, we have many envelopes with many secrets. Now, as Petra is opening the envelope, she already knows who the winner is.
I do. So it's been very exciting to see all the solutions, but we actually got a recommendation, not just from the judges, but also from our friends at the ministry who provided the data and supported us in this challenge as well. So I would like to call the team Good Dot and award them 1,250 euros for the Geodata prize. Congratulations.
Yes. Is that the good team that we can see? It's very, very dark, but I believe you're okay.
Thank you very much for this award. We really appreciate it. And thank you to organizers and all the people involved in the Climathon. And of course, big thanks to my team. And yeah, thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much. Congratulations. Maybe you can buy some lamps with this money.
That was my joke.
It's a good one.
Yes.
Well, we have more prizes, and as Nima already showed, he does also have an envelope. We have gotten a guy on a horse who was, riding on the horse from Bratislava to Austria to bring these news.
On the optic cable.
On the horse.
On the optic cable, the horse on the optic cable.
Yes, the little horses of the optic cables were bringing these news of the student awards by Swiss Re, which is 3 awards for 3 teams. The best one gets 2,000 euros, then we have 1,000 euros, and then we have only 2.
It's been a shuffle.
Oh, Lord, so many news. Okay, so I'm getting the direction, but there's only 2 student teams that are winning, so I do not know how much.
Nima has all the information.
Nima has all the answers. So if Nima is ready,
The lady who came with the horse gave me all the information.
It's a very chatty horse, yes. We have to change it.
No, I am very pleased actually to announce that the second prize for the students who are going to win 1,250 euros. This is the team which was thinking about Rain Race is the first app for rain avoidant navigation. Congratulations to City Intelligent Lab for that one. And now maybe going to the winner, it is for me, of course, an honor. And I'm so happy that I was not part of the jury because the first prize goes to Swiss Re students for 2,250 euros. Congratulations.
Congratulations to the
City Intelligence Lab for their Never Rain on Your Parade Again app for the second place, and congratulations to the Swiss Re students. I believe we have Barbara on the screen. You can now say a couple of words. How do you feel?
I feel great. Thank you so much. My team had such a blast participating in this Climathon, and thank you so much for organizing it. And we're just really glad, and hopefully we'll be able to really help Bratislava with this project.
We're very much looking forward to it.
Thank you very much. I hope you're going to use this cash award wisely, and that soon we're going to be using the models that you have created to have more comfortable time on the buses and tramways and trolley buses and all the other things we have.
Besides buying Christmas presents, they can buy their annual passes for public transport,
and
for
now
example.
It's like a charity because you don't get to use it because everybody's home.
Well, yes.
Yes.
But hopefully the situation will change and you can enjoy the trams and buses. They're more reliable because of your service.
Oh, well. Thank you very much again, team Swiss Re students. That was the first place for the student prize of Swiss Re. But we awarded 4 teams so far. 3 teams, yes. That's why I was not in the jury because I can't count. But I have a little helper here off the screen who helps me with these decisions. So we have more prizes, and I believe you should be getting an envelope.
Yes, little elf is coming with an envelope. Thank you.
Yes. So this golden nugget, so the final prizes. How many winners do we have before I say something which is not true?
3.
3. So we have 3 winners, 2,000 euros, 1,000 euros, and 500 euros,
Yes,
correct?
Exactly.
All right.
This was actually the hardest discussion because we had so many great ideas and good teams, so that's why it took us so long to actually decide. But we wanted to award the excellence of the idea, the possibility of implementation, the impact on citizens. No. And also basically the usefulness for us as well. So we, with the 3rd place, we wanted to award to Swiss Re students. So now you can really your annual passes. 2nd place goes to Clima-X. And a first place to an idea that hopefully will turn into life. It's Holandská spojka.
Congratulations to Holandská spojka, or the Dutch connection, a man with bad connection who couldn't share his screen, and yet here he is, the winner. Igor, what do you want to say?
Thank you very much. It's a pleasant surprise, and well, I wouldn't be here without my team, so I really want to extend my thanks to them, Saška and Braňo. You were amazing. And also to our mentors, Milota, Petra, Igor, Jano, for giving us valuable feedback. And of course, big thanks to Civita, because of you, I spent a really ugly Dutch rainy weekend at home, which is nice. So thank you very much.
And Igor, as you said, there would be a follow-up. We need to discuss how to put this idea into life, because that's the whole point of this beautiful event.
I count on that. Thank you very much.
So, congratulations to everybody, to the, how many? Six winners we had. But, well, we had a double because Swiss Re students took 2 prizes. So, really, it's going to be also for the families. Everybody's going to be riding the red buses.
Everyone should be riding public transport. But when we talk about the awards, we also want to thank all the other teams that are participating, because I think it was really hard for our pre-selection to just pick 10 teams. So everyone who actually dedicated their time should be awarded, and they have our thanks, which means a lot to us. And I should be doing the closing now, shouldn't I?
Well, I wanted to
yet.
say that these were our historically first winners of historically first Bratislava Climate Hackathon, or Climathon. And I wanted to ask you, what are the next steps? So tomorrow morning we rest, or tomorrow morning you call each of them and say like, hello, I want the data, I want the solution.
So tonight we all celebrate. Please do so. It's been responsibly, of course, at home. And tomorrow we would love to follow up with the teams. Even if you were not in the selected finalists, we would still love to be in touch and see how the ideas go further, if we can develop them together, improve them, because I know that my colleagues who were mentoring really liked the ideas that were presented, so we would love to work with you. I hope you will get in touch with us. It's fairly simple. We are very open to discussing the ideas further. And yeah, tomorrow morning we will start working on it, but we will first get a very good night's sleep and enjoy the wave of happiness and connection that is actually trying to make our city a better place, and all of you tried to improve it.
So we're all going to be basking in the post-hackathon bliss. I would like to welcome on this little stage the jury that didn't really get the time on this camera. They were in the little confinement units and they were there so alone, but with good acoustics. So we have Petra, we have Matej, we have Uwe, we have Slavo. Thank you very much. I would also like to thank Swiss Re, City of Bratislava, Civita, HubHub, Databricks, Ministry of Environment, InQB, our mentors, teams, participants, cameramen and photographers, caterers and coffee makers. Now I will name them. I will name Martin and Peter and Michal and Sofia and Katka and Lukáš and
Martina.
Yes, and so many more people. Paulina, who's not here. There's just so many names, and this is just going to be like this little, friends and family around that, but it's okay, you bear with us. Well, this was the first EIT Climate Kick Climathon in the history of Bratislava, but it was for sure not the last one. The climate crisis is looming above us, and the cities are often the first ones to be strong enough to act and build up their resilience while decreasing their contribution to climate change. As citizens of Bratislava, some who live there permanently and some who don't, we are honored that our city is eager to tackle these challenges, heads-on, aware of the risks, but determined to fight. We are here to fight with them. Thank you all for watching the finale of the first Slovak Climathon, and good night.
Humanity is facing an unprecedented crisis. COVID-19 shocked the world. But climate change doesn't wait. Inaction is not an option. It's time to act and come together. Cities and citizens are already forming a global wave of climate champions. In the last 4 years, the Climathon movement has grown from 600 to 6,000 participants across all 6 continents. And the momentum keeps on building. We need bold ambition. We need climate-resilient ideas and initiatives. We need a green recovery. Together, let's build back better. Join us on the Climathon journey. Take action. Co-create local ideas to shared climate challenges and build tangible and impact-driven projects. Get involved in shaping the future of your city. We are all in this together.